Greetings, fellow scribes! Welcome back to the archive. This week, I conclude my series talking about the archetypes of Shadowrun by talking about what is quite possibly the most important archetype in the game, the one you create. See, Shadowrun is not a class-based system, so you can build any type of character you want. And this means you can break from the standard archetypes. You can get really creative. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we talk about breaking the molds. So by this point, I've spoken to you about all the core and classic archetypes. The Street Sam, mages and adepts, faces, riggers, deckers. But there's more to Shadowrun than that. Back in the old days, you had concepts like detective, rocker, ganger that were put into the core book. But there's more than that. You want to make say you saw a movie and you want to build that character in Shadowrun. With some creative work, you can. I have actually played a Kingsman agent in Shadowrun. Admittedly, I did him as an adept, mostly because it was the most efficient way to do it. But I still did one. And that's one of the big things you have to remember with Shadowrun. The system is so flexible, you can kind of bend it. At least in the 1st through 5th editions. Again, I'm not very familiar with 6th edition. There are issues with it for me, and I will leave it at that. But you have to think how you want to build your character. For instance, there's a difference between building a weapon specialist and a street sam. A weapon specialist is someone who can pick up and use just about any weapon. So there are going to be a lot of skills. Their wear might just be a smart link, or cyber eyes with a smart link system built into them. Or they might not have any cyberware. You can actually, with the right things, the right combination of drugs and Shadowrun, make a juicer. That's a concept from Rifts, a character who basically uses combat drugs to soup themselves up. It's a really dangerous road to go because you end up dealing with the addiction rules. And in all editions of Shadowrun, the addiction rules suck. Your GM will probably hate you, but at the same time, it's a cool-ass character to build. I've built one, and my GM hated me because I made him have to use the addiction rules. But, that's the thing. Every character can be something. You don't have to fit with the classic archetypes. You want to be a rocker? Be a bloody rocker. You want to be a noir detective going about the setting? You can do that. You might have some skills or abilities or wear that kind of maybe make you fit into one of the classic archetypes, because ultimately the classic archetypes are kind of broad. But at the same time, you're not really fitting into them. Like, let's take a rocker. You're going to have high charisma. You're going to also have high attributes relating to performance. So, on the surface, you're kind of a face. But doing the things a face does. Smooth talking people, scamming, knowing a guy who knows a guy. That's not your thing. Your thing is rocking. Now, yeah, that might not seem like much use in a run, but you can definitely create a diversion. Fame is a positive quality in some editions, negative quality in others, and you might have fame. That can definitely come in handy for, again, causing a distraction. You're the person who walks in the front door and everyone wants to shake his hands to. You're the person who is able to score the team the invitations to that high-end soiree that you need to infiltrate to make your extraction. And you know, what better way to get in than not being a caterer, but being a guest of honor? Because everyone's going to be focusing on you, not the rest of the team. And that's the thing. You want to make a detective. Alright, you're probably going to have cyber eyes, cyber ears, probably have cameras and recorders, and you're going to record stuff. You're going to analyze stuff. Because, you know, that's what you're going to do. That's what detectives do. They try and piece all the bits and pieces together to figure out things. Which means, again, it's a great cover in a run. You just let the screen know, hey, yeah, this guy, I just need to verify for his old lady that he either is or isn't having some fun times with the new secretary. You know what I mean? You could even play a character that's a former Bunraku slave or Bunraku doll. You have, especially in 5th edition, you have skill wires. You have the chip slots so that someone can just slot in a new persona for you. You might not have any combat wear, but you're great at infiltrating places because you can pretend to be anyone you want. And then, of course, you have the infiltration experts, which there's multiple ways they can do this. One method is the stealth person, person who uses various stealth equipment and such to get in and out of a place. The other option is a character type I built. They have an assortment of wear that lets them change certain elements of their body type. In 5th edition, there was a breast implants augmentation that could be altered in size from making them bigger, moderate, or not there. You take a skin toner implant and you can change your skin tone. Fiber optic hair, you can change your hair color. Take the right cyber eyes. They look like normal eyes, but you can change your eye color. Have some fake glasses on you, and then have a piece of wear that either lets you change your shape randomly, change your facial structure randomly, or one that lets you, I'm going to step out of sight, change my facial structure to something I know, and then move right on out. character I built using this combination of equipment had a negative quality where they didn't remember what they truly looked like because they just spent so much time changing their face, but character was perfectly willing to change between a man, a woman, acting their way through things, cutting their way through things. They were sort of a face, but they were not a face in the traditional sense. They never looked the same. And of course, 5th edition added a coating for jackets that could make them change color when you applied another solution to it. So it was a way for the character to literally duck out of sight, come out looking completely different, and no one be the wiser. It was a fun character build. And that's the kind of thing you have to do in Shadowrun. You can look at the archetypes, and the archetypes exist for a reason. The classic 6 archetypes exist for a reason. But, unlike other systems, the archetypes are just that. They're archetypes. You can take those molds and you can smash them. Next week, I'm going to do a archival GMing where I'm going to talk about combat again. So, until then, I'd like you all to remember to have fun and keep gaming.